We give updates at work all the time, every single day. But what if I told you there's one simple grammar trick that could make every single one of your updates sound clearer, more organized, and way more credible? Well, that's exactly what we're going to master today. All right, so let's set the scene. It's a perfectly normal Tuesday. And this is Camille. She's at her desk working in operations, and as far as she's concerned, it's just, another day of managing logistics.
So check out the rhythm of her morning. At 9:05, she was preparing the schedule. A little bit later, she was checking on delivery windows. See, everything's just ticking along, totally predictable. These are those ongoing background actions that just set the scene for a normal workday.
And then, bam, this happens. At 10:18 a.m., a message pops up. It's just one short sentence, but it's about to completely change her day. That nice, steady hum of her normal routine, it just got sharply interrupted. So here's the big question, right? Camille has to update her manager. She needs to explain what she was in the middle of doing, the context, and then report the specific thing that just derailed it. So how does she do that? How does she explain it clearly and professionally? Okay, section 1, a normal day interrupted. And the solution, you'll see, is all about how you frame the story of what just happened. The perfect update? It's this one sentence. She was preparing the schedule when the message arrived. I mean, how clean and efficient is that? It tells you the whole story in one go. What was happening in the background and the one specific event that interrupted it all. So you might be wondering, how does this one little sentence do so much heavy lifting? Well, it's because it's actually using two different grammatical lenses, if you will, to look at time. And together, they give us the full picture. Think of it this way. This structure is doing two jobs at once. First, you've got the past progressive. That's your was preparing or was checking. That's the part that paints the background scene. Then you have the simple past, words like arrived or wrote. And that is what pinpoints the single finished action that cuts right into that scene. And here's the best part. This isn't just some clever one-off trick. Nope, it's a repeatable formula you can use for pretty much any professional update. So let's break it down. It really just boils down to a super simple two-step process. Step 1, you set the scene. You use the past progressive, something like, I was finalizing the report. And then step 2, you state the interruption. You use the simple past, like when the client called. That's it. That's the core of the whole formula. And once you see it, you'll start noticing this pattern everywhere. For example, I was reviewing the contract when legal requested a change. Or maybe, we were discussing the budget when the client called. See? In every single one of these, you give the context first, then you drop in the key action that changed everything. Okay, so let's see how this formula works in a totally different setting. Because it's not just for emails about a delayed shipment, it's just as powerful in, say, a high-stakes meeting. So, let's meet Kareem. So Kareem's in a big project meeting. He's right in the middle of his presentation. That's our background scene. He was presenting the timeline. And then, what happens? The interruption. When the CFO joined the call, it's the exact same formula, just a different context, and it immediately explains what's going on with perfect clarity. But why does this matter so much? I mean, really, what's the big deal? Well, it's all about the difference between just listing off a bunch of facts and actually telling a compelling story. Let's compare two ways of giving the exact same update, and you'll see what I mean. Okay, first up, here's the update using only the simple past. I received an email. I changed the plan. I called the client. Now, is it correct? Yeah, technically, but it's so flat, isn't it? It just sounds like a disconnected to-do list. Your manager has absolutely no sense of the scene, or even the priority of what just happened. Now look at the huge difference when we bring in our formula. I was finalizing the schedule when I received an email. Bam! Instantly, it's a story. Now we have context. It sounds so much more organized, more thoughtful, and it shows that you were focused on an important task before this new priority just landed on your plate. All right, so you've totally got the core sentence down. That's the hard part. Now, let's take that and build it into a complete professional update that shows everyone you are absolutely in control of the situation. Because, let's be real, a truly great update doesn't just talk about what happened in the past. It shows leadership. It demonstrates that you have control over the future. It's all about that pivot from what happened to what happens next. And how do you do that? With one simple but incredibly powerful final phrase. After you've explained the interruption and what you did about it, you state your next step. That one little sentence shows you're not just reacting to problems, you're proactively leading the response. So here it is, your complete template for the perfect professional update. Step 1, set the scene with what you were doing. Step 2, state the interruption, what happened. Step 3, briefly list the actions you already took. And then the final, absolutely critical step, number 4, state your plan for what comes next. This 4-part structure right here, this is your key to giving clear, credible, and confident updates every single time. Look, this structure is so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. And the best part is, it's ready for you to use right now. So I guess the only question left is this. The very next time you have to explain what happened at work, what professional story are you going to tell?